Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Nick, and today I want to talk to you guys about my list of Scooby-Doo movies regarding just the two live action that came out early 2000s, and then just the two movies that came out to, I don't know, I think Cartoon Network half a decade ago. Might be, damn, has it been 10 years? I did not do my research on the years because I knew the live action, but not the TV movie live action. So, regardless of that, I have seen all four of them, the two to TV and then two to the movie theaters by Raja Gosnell. Suck at names. But anyway, two movies to TV were fine. I'm going to just briefly talk about these ones because I really just care about the live action theatrical released movies by Raja Gosnell. But the two movies released to TV were fine. They were kind of like more obviously kid friendly ones. You got like Haley Kiyoko, singer and actress in there. She did a fine job as Velma. You got Robbie and Mel. If you don't know, Stephen and Mel's cousin. They're cousins, I think. Could be brothers, but I think they're cousins. And basically he plays Fred. And then you got a new guy playing Shaggy, but you got the same guy playing Scooby. I like the fact that they most of the time keep the voice actors the same. Sometimes in these movies they don't do that. Here they did. Frank Weller, I believe is his name. Legend, Scooby-Doo legend. Playing Scooby, obviously. But you know, the TV movies were fine. You know, it's Mystery Incorporated. It's the first one, so you got the kind of just like high schoolers getting together to form this team. And then the second one was the Lake Monster one. I mean, those did feel, for TV movies, they were pretty good. Now, if you had these movies out in the theater, not going to be highly received. Granted, they're not highly received now, but they're, you know, enjoyable movies that you can watch just for, you know, entertainment. They're not too hard thinkers. I mean, neither are the original Scooby-Doo live actions, but at least budget-wise and actor and actress-wise, they just don't have the same capacity. They're differently made by different people. But at the end of the day, the two TV movie ones are enjoyable movies. Acting is pretty good for a TV movie. Can be a little, you know, cheesy and corny at times, but I mean, what do you expect from TV movies anyway? That's kind of just what you get. But regarding the live action by Raja Gosnell, number 2 for me is the sequel. You know, this monster movie isn't exactly a good follow-up. I mean, I enjoy this movie. Okay, Monsters Unleashed, the sequel, it's not great, but there's things to be had. There's enjoyment to be had. If you remember the first movie, that one, they're both PG movies, but the first one had more of a, like, almost hitting that PG-13 vibe. And I mean, if you didn't know, the first Scooby-Doo movie that was made was supposed to be PG-13, but then the company and the studios were just like, no, we can't have them smoking weed, and we can't have like Daphne and Velma having like a lesbian like kiss scene. Like, I don't even know, they were gonna go some far places in that movie, but they ended up scrapping it. But in that movie, even though it's PG, you can still see the hints of, like, when Shaggy and Scooby are in that truck eating, kind of seems like it was smoking. Maybe they were smoking, they probably were, but they don't tell you, they don't reference it. It's just kind of induced in that scene. And then the whole body swapping scene when they're all like looking at each other and looking at Fred's like, oh, you know, I got boobs. It's just like, okay. You know, they were trying to go for that PG-13. It was PG, but not much you can do. But with Monsters Unleashed, the sequel, it has those vibes of the first movie, but this one felt more toned down, not as scary. And the first one isn't even that scary, but I would say the monster creatures in the first one are superior to the sequel, because you just got all these wacky characters. Like, you got this big black glob monster, then you got this like underwater dude with the tank helmet, and then you got the flying crocodile thing. I don't even know what you call it. It just, you got all these other creatures, you know, coming to like get them, like specifically. Obviously it's being controlled by the main evil guy, and then you got like Alicia Silverstone in there. It's just like you're throwing these people in there. Seth Green has a side role as like Velma's like boyfriend, and then she gets all hot up, and it's just like, I guess there you could see them trying to push that PG-13 rating, but like it just feels so goofy in this movie. Like the first one, it had that plot where you can start from point A, see where the characters were, and then get to where they're at post breaking up, and then they get back together, solve that mystery, which is cool to see them, you know, back together, and you have them actually working as a team in this second one. There's no like breakup or anything. They're just having a lot of conflict, and the whole Fred and Daphne thing kind of gets a little cringy at times. These are early 2000s movies, you know, they were kind of built on this cheese and this, you know, way of storytelling. Granted, I feel like they could have benefited from a different take, going that PG-13 route. I really would have been interested to see that type of movie back then, but I don't, you know, take off points for that. It's just the movie we got's the movie we got. So Monsters Unleashed comes at number 2. They all do their parts fine. I just think the monsters aren't as good as the first movie was, and there's a bit too many side characters and just too many things going on in a bunch of different places, and it just like doesn't flow as well. And it's still enjoyable movie. You can still watch it. I just think in regards to which movie I would want to watch, the first one I always thought was like the Scooby-Doo movie. The second one I was like, do I really feel like watching that movie? Not really. Like, I will watch it, and I don't really have anything to hate against it. Just, again, I choose the first one over the second one. So now to number 1, which is the first Scooby-Doo movie by Raja Gosnell. I really like Linda Cardinelli and Freddie Prinze Jr. doing their early acting roles. Surprisingly enough, Linda Cardinelli is probably the most famous out of that movie now. I mean, you have Freddie Prinze Jr. He was pretty well known in the 90s and early 2000s, but he's been taking a back seat, I would say, these days. I don't think he's done much. And then, you know, you got Matthew Lillard playing Shaggy, and that's just one of the best castings ever. He's some of the best parts of the first one and the second one. I didn't mention it, but the second one, I mean, you got amazing scenes with Scooby and Shaggy, and that's really what I felt like was the best parts of the movie, was because you have Shaggy and Scooby, and he just does that voice so well, playing Shaggy, a live action Shaggy. Like, for the most part, their characters look the part. They do the acting well. I think they do a pretty good job. It's just that storyline that could be, you know, a little bit better, more going on, besides just them going to that haunted looking house, and just that whole thing in the second one. But that first one, when they go to Scooby Island, they go to Spooky Island, Spooky, and you got Mr. Bean playing the evil guy, but it's not Mr. Bean, it's actually Scrappy, because Scrappy is actually in the live action. And man, that whole scene where Scrappy just has that thing in the middle of him, he just like taking all the, like, I don't know, it felt creative. It felt a little bit goofy and cheesy, but at the same time, I really thought those monsters that would just blow up, I thought they were pretty scary as a kid, and growing up, I think they're pretty intimidating creatures. That's why I just feel like the second one, they just feel like CGI characters, where the first ones had like this actual like menacing vibe to it, and the whole place they're at feels menacing. I think the second one, they wanted to do more grand scale. Like the first one, we're at this one location with all these people. Second one, we gotta bring the monsters to the real world, and we gotta have them like invade the city and show them on like the streets with people having their reactions to it. And I mean, that's all well and good, but it just kind of feels more hammy than menacing. And the first one, you're at this island, and it's a really cool island. I always like found it fascinating, all the little like side things you could do, all the little like vacation things, and I just thought it was so creepy how like they can just pass on that like breath to like take over somebody. Like I always just thought that was sketchy. So I mean, I always really enjoyed that. And again, all the actors do good. Michelle Gellar, I think, is that her name? Totally forgot her name, man. Michelle Gellar, I believe is her name. I think they're married. Freddie Prinze Jr. and her are married. I mean, you can just tell that they have good chemistry throughout these movies. I mean, the whole cast has good chemistry. The first one just feels more just to them instead of the second one where you got a bunch of side characters coming on. And I mean, what can I say? I mean, they got good talent. Director-wise, Raja Gosnell, it feels like his vision. It feels like his type of movie. But dude, this guy's only made one technically good and well-received movie, which has Never Been Kissed, and that's like a totally different movie than this one or these. And he doesn't have that good a track record when it comes to movies. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy Yours, Mine, and Ours, but that movie is just like, you know, kind of family rom-com entertainment, which doesn't have too much over the surface of the film. And then you have Home Alone 3, which I don't even know why that one was made. It's just like, you're not going to have Macaulay Culkin come back, so why you got to change it just to milk the series even more? The first two are perfect. You don't need a third one, but whatever. And then, you know, he did Smurfs and he did Show Dog, so really his career is just... But at least in the early 2000s, he was making some money off of these, you know. First two did make a decent amount of their money back, so he wasn't doing anything too wrong. Granted, people wanted to see Scooby-Doo, and nothing is ever going to beat seeing Scooby on the airplane pretending to be an old lady, and then somehow nobody notices that it's not an actual person. Like, his face was poking out so long, like, how could you not? But there goes the suspension of disbelief in these movies. So number one for me is the first Scooby-Doo. Second is obviously Monsters Unleashed, and then the other direct-to-TV movies, if I were to rank them, probably 3 would be Scooby-Doo, Mystery Incorporated, and then the Lake Monster one. But those are direct-to-TV movies. I really just wanted to rank the first 2, but I thought I'd mention them since I'd seen those as well. And, you know, Scooby-Doo has a special place in my heart. I love the animated series. I have not seen the recent TV show on Cartoon Network that they did, Mystery Incorporated there. I don't know. I was really thinking about checking that one out. But regarding the original live action, that one always holds a special place in my heart because I really watched those growing up as a kid. I was like 4 when the first one came out and like 6 when the second one came out, and then I just kept rewatching them up until like my early pubescent years, like 12 probably. I mean, I'm a decent fan, man. I got the Scooby-Doo Pops right there. Pretty sure you can see them. I got Fred, and I got a very special Scooby-Doo limited edition flocked with only like about 2,500 being made. And I got that one really lucky, and that one's one of my prized possessions. But I do need more, you know. I can only get so many Pops. I got more Pops than just these, but can't fit it all in this background. But regardless, those are my thoughts on the Scooby-Doo live action. You know, entertainment-wise, they're really good movies. They're good fun. You can just sit down, you can watch them. You don't have to think too much. Neither are the live action TV movies. But I'm really interested to see what Scoob's gonna be like. I'll have that review out probably after I watch it. I mean, I'll take my notes and I'll sit down and talk about it. You know, it's an animated one, so it's not live action, so we're going back to animated. I just think it sucks that the voice actors aren't coming back, and you got Mark Wahlberg playing a character in there. I don't know, it feels a little bit too glossy and too over the top almost, at least by the trailer. The second trailer I did not like as much as the first one, but again, we'll see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please look out for that Scoob movie review coming out within the next week when the movie comes out to video on demand. And if you like this video, please come on by and keep on watching more of my videos, because I am just gonna keep on talking my thoughts and opinions on as much stuff as I can think about. Again, I'm writing notes and movie YouTube ideas. I got a lot of stuff I'm thinking about. I'm too obsessed with the movie, guys. I just talk about it to everybody I know, so that's why I'm talking to the camera and to you guys, whoever's watching this video. So again, thank you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.